Hey, let's take a look at Darwin's journey, Oceania Expansion. I don't think it's hyperbole to say that Darwin's journey is a masterpiece of game design. Um, and the expansions just kind of add a bunch of flavor and variability to the game. But let's take a look. So here we're set up for a two-player game, green and yellow. And let's start with talking about what's still the same. The basics are still the same. You have your green, blue, yellow, and red wax seal actions that explore, navigate, uh, perform correspondence actions, and research the Academy for wax seals. The correspondence part is still very similar. You have the special action area with variable tiles that come into play. You have gold and silver objectives, and you still start with two of them. But that is kind of where the basics end. Let's focus in on my side, and let's take a look at the player board. The player board is very different. It has completely different action icons on all the unlock spaces, including the tents, including the stamps. And I think the important things of note is it's no longer possible to get a discount on sharing actions, sharing penalties, nor is there a free academy wax seal spot. There's a place where you can instantly get one for free, but those discounts don't exist in this version of the game, which is pretty interesting. Also, you'll note that this expansion replaces the specimen tokens with a new variety. It also includes an overlay if you wanted to use these boards and those specimens in either Firelands or the base, um, which is nice. I don't know that I would, but it's nice to have the option. And then the additions on the board is we now have hazards. First of all, you'll notice we're going in the opposite direction as usual. When you navigate, we're now navigating right to left, and our exploration starts over here. Maybe that'll be a nice ode to the left-handers, I'm not sure. But now we have hazard tokens that when either an explorer passes a ribbon with a hazard or your ship navigates past a ribbon with a hazard, you will take the token and you'll go and move on this hazard track. And so each round, you'll need to try and manage your hazard level. So when you take a hazard, you go down the track, but then you can acquire antidotes, like this spot here allows you to take an antidote and a coin to move back up the track. And the penalty with the hazards is at the end of the round, during the end of round activity, we will assess your hazard level, and there will be a variable tile that will have a penalty for each hazard level that you have. So in this case, you would either have to remove one of your rolls or suffer -4 victory points per level that you're on. That one is particularly nasty. This one here, you would have to, well, I guess you'd have to pull 2 envelopes back from the correspondence track or suffer 4 victory points for each one that you couldn't do. This one here, for every specimen that you've researched, you would have to remove or pay for. Oh, I guess you'd have to remove an explorer from from an island or suffer 4 victory points. The person who was the most toxic, was the most hazardous, does get a reward that they get to keep and can use again later at their leisure. This one, for example, if yellow, or if I, since I'm on my board, were to have been the most hazardous, I would get this token, and then either immediately or some point in the future, I could redo one of my tent locations. This one would let you do a correspondence with one stamp. This one would give you a free navigation, a free explore. The last round, there's no rewards because the game is over by the time that we get there. So it's only penalties. And in this case, you'd have to give up 1 victory point per research specimen you had per level on the hazard track that you are. So managing hazards gets to be an interesting subgame. Also new is we have an additional post office area. When you navigate to the post office, it's an additional correspondence location that you can spend stamps towards. And the notable thing about it is the correspondence reward will change every round. So that's kind of interesting. Just gives you something a little bit more variable in addition to what we have there. There's another location here. I think it's an academy. Once you've navigated past this, you unlock the top row of the academy scrolls. And from that point on, you're able to acquire stamps from the top row at no cost. So I guess that's kind of the counter to the old way of discounting the wax seals. So eventually you'll get to a point where you at least have 2 rows that don't. Well, this one has no cost at all, so you don't even pay this cost over here. So that's kind of nice, although you do have to work quite a bit to get to it. We have some special camps, campsites that are open to all players. There's a silver and a gold, and the effect that happens when you go there is variable. There's about 6 different tiles for each of these. In this case, if you explored up to here and established an encampment, you would be able to automatically complete one of your rolls without needing the wax seal requirement for it. This one here in the gold sector, if you establish a campsite, you would at the end of the game, you would get 2 points for every completed objective. So generally, these are additional victory point conditions at the end of the game, and these are interesting instant benefits that you can acquire. Similar to Firelands, we do have multiple different exploration islands, I guess similar to the base game. We have a couple of roundabouts on the water, but it's not quite as varied as Firelands. And I think that's, I guess there's these 2 here. These are additional special action tiles that become available to you only once you have passed where they are. So in this case, you need to have sent an explorer to this spot and beyond, and the first person to do so is able to unlock it with a -2 to the cost, so they can pay 2 to unlock it and perform it, place their lens on it, and then from that point forward, they can use it similar to any of the other lenses, and then an opponent would be able to access it once they've reached it and moved beyond it. And then of similar nature, navigation all the way over here. There's a -3 discount to the person that unlocks it. And then once you've reached it or passed it, it becomes always available to you as a place where you can send one of your workers. I think it's great. It's really quite a twist, especially with the different actions, the different rewards for unlocking things. It's a much different puzzle than the original Darwin's Journey is, and I highly recommend it. If you've fallen in love with Darwin's Journey, I think that you'll find this a very exciting and different experience. Thanks for watching.